Now we're learning the Dvar Malchut, and the words, royal words of the Rebbe. The Rebbe spoke these speeches in 1992. Now, when the Rebbe was speaking, everybody was at this big fervor for Moshiach, and everybody was certain the Rebbe is the Moshiach, and all Chabad, everybody, they were all saying the Rebbe is the Moshiach. Even the Rebbe had a stroke, and a year and a half later, he had a more severe stroke. But in that time, they would take the Rebbe, even though that he was, half paralyzed, maybe even more. They would take him out on this sort of porch that they built inside of the synagogue. The Rebbe would come out, and everyone would sing "Yishchi Adonai, the Rebbe is Mashiach." Okay, one of the reasons for this was because in 1990, 1991, there were these amazing miracles that happened. Amazing, open, fantastic miracles that happened. One of them was that the Iron Curtain fell, and suddenly Jews just could go in and come out with, no problem. That was unheard of. The communist Russia, there were tens of millions of people were killed by the government themselves in order to secure and to maintain communism in Russia. How many people Stalin killed? I saw one estimation, 50 million people killed. And the Russian Revolution, right, for the Bolsheviks to win, it took another 2 million lives or something like that. Look, there's different figures that are up, but that's what I saw. And all of a sudden, from the whole communist regime and philosophy, and it just fell in like one day. And there was no war, there was no bloodshed, there's no anything. It was really quite astounding. So that was a big miracle. Then there was the miracle of Saddam Hussein, the Iraqis. He shot 39 very powerful missiles into Israel. And everyone was certain that he had chemical warfare and biological warfare. And they even thought maybe nuclear. They didn't know what he had. They were all... And none of the missiles hit any. None of the missiles killed anybody. And no one in the world dreamed that it would happen. And the Rebbe announced that it was going to happen. The Rebbe announced weeks before that don't worry, Israel is the safest place in the world. And he encouraged people to go to Israel. And this guy was shooting missiles and blowing up buildings in Israel. Israel is like that, you don't, as dangerous as the United States could be. I just saw now a video that someone got shot in Chicago. A religious Jew, I guess, walking to synagogue or whatever, and he was walking, and the guy shot him. Maybe he yelled out "dirty Jew" or something. And there's all this anti-Semitism is popping up all over in America. America will never be as dangerous, ostensibly dangerous, as Israel is. There's nowhere in America where they shoot a rocket at you because you're a Jew. They shoot rockets. In Israel, our enemies shot 20,000, I think 27,000, 20,000 plus missiles have been shot at us in the last year. 20,000. 20,000. Not 2,000, not 200, not 20, not 2, which that would have been enough. 20,000 missiles. Anyway, Saddam Hussein, he began this whole thing. He shot 39 missiles into Israel and nothing happened. The whole building was collapsed. And the Rebbe said that Israel is the safest place for a Jew. And that's what it is now also. Safest place for a Jew. Right? Everybody in Chicago, I understand, they're all shaking, they're all worried, and they're all this and that. What's going to be? And rightly so. Somebody just drove by. And here in Israel, they're not shooting guns at us, which they also do. They're shooting huge missiles. One missile could kill, who knows, God forbid, how many people. And nothing happens. But this whole business of shooting missiles and nothing happening, this really began with Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein shot 39 very powerful missiles. They knocked down whole entire buildings and with people in them. And nobody got hurt. It was exactly what the Rebbe said. So everyone was sure this is it. This man, And of course, there's the Maimonides, there's the qualifications of Mashiach, and the Rebbe has all the qualifications. And the Rambam says everybody has to be waiting for Mashiach. Everybody, every Jew. If you don't, you're denying the whole Torah. So I say, oh, we're waiting. Then here's that. So with the big miracles, so everybody was sure that the Lubavitcher Rebbe is the Mashiach. Everyone was sure. Okay, what happened since then? That's not my business. But I mean, I'm as sure as everyone was back then. I'm that sure now. And there's also a lot of people that are also sure because the things that have happened since then. But on the other hand, we have to say it's a little bit disappointing that 30 plus years have passed and still the redemption is not here. And the redemption is supposed to be that there's world peace and that everybody suddenly cares about everybody else and all potential is realized and there's no more danger in the world, no more this and that. We don't see that happening. So something, is not exactly the way it's supposed to be now. But let's suffice as to what we're sure of. We're sure Mashiach is going to come. We're sure that every Jew must believe in Mashiach. We're sure that the Maimonides is right and the qualifications of Mashiach. We're sure that the Lubavitcher Rebbe has the qualifications of Mashiach. We're sure. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. If there's somebody else, okay, let's not talk about that. But we should be concerned with Mashiach. If it's not going to be the Rebbe, it has to be somebody exactly like the Rebbe. Maybe it'll be a different country, maybe his nose will look different. Maybe, I don't know. But here we have an example. Okay. But a big point of this is that we have to be excited about Mashiach. You don't like the Lubavitcher Rebbe, you don't like the color of his eyes, you don't like the name Lubavitch. So don't, okay, it's not the Rebbe. Look for somebody else. But you have to be interested in Mashiach. You have to be interested in Mashiach. And that's the point what the Rebbe wants. The Rebbe wants that you should be interested in Mashiach. Vitally interested in Mashiach. And then you should know what the Maimonides says, and you should learn them. Wait for Mashiach. Oh, says the Rebbe. We have just finished learning that God created the world because the world is very important to God. And the only ones that can really purvey this message and bring it to all mankind is the Jewish people. And only Jewish people that know the Torah. Because if you don't know the Torah, then you don't know what to do. You can have a good will, you're going to have good ideas, philosophies. But if you don't do it according to the Torah, then you're not going to be able to show the tremendous importance and preciousness of every detail and every second of this world that God is creating. And that's why it says, Bereshis Bora Elokim. Bereshis means the physical world. Bereshis means the Jewish people. And Bereshis means the Torah. And the Torah and the Jewish people are here to tell everyone how much God loves them, how every detail of the physical world is infinitely, every detail, every instant is infinitely, tremendously important. And this is by the Jews and the Torah and in the physical world, especially in the land of Israel. So therefore, if the non-Jews say that the Jews are thieves and Israel belongs to them, so we say back to the non-Jews, what in the world are you going to do with the land of Israel? It's a holy land. You have no idea what that means, holy. You're not commanded to do anything with the world. The purpose of the land of Israel is to show the world how precious the entire world is. And only the Jews can do that. And certainly Hamas can't do it. The professors in America, it's like I said before, it's like giving a piano to a cow and say, okay, play Chopin. The cow doesn't know what you're talking about. You're going to give the land of Israel to the Hamas, to these people. What there's a purpose to the land. What are you going to do? What are they going to do with it? Okay, says the Rebbe, all these ideas that we said about the physical world being precious and only the Jews and the Torah can show it. This is especially stressed by Parshat Breshit. Last week's, well, we learned Breshit.
Rabbi?
Huh?
We don't see the Dvar Malchut on the screen.
You don't?
No, we see something else.
All right. Let's try to fix this. Thank you very much. Okay, now you see me?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's fix this up. Thank you very much for saying this. because I do see it. So I don't. Okay, there we go. Now do you see it?
Second. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. What was that? What was that beep? There we go. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. So this we said about Parshas Bereshit, especially this year, said the Rebbe, Tov Shin Nun Beit, which is there should be miracles in everything. And basically that is also the initials of this year also. This year is Tov Shin Pei Hey. So we can leave the Nun out, which doesn't change the meaning of the word in this case. Something like this, it does, but in this case it doesn't. So it says Tia Shanat Pilaot, and then Hey HaKol or HaMashiach or whatever you want. Miracles. The main thing is miracles. This is a year of big miracles. Miracles. It says Niflaot. When the Rebbe was doing it was Niflaot, not just Pelot. This shows on a tremendous completion. Okay. Niflaot, but this hints at that in addition to this is a year that I will show you miracles. That was the year previous to that, last year. So certainly this caused this year, because we have to be higher and higher, and that was the year when the Iron Curtain fell and Saddam Hussein with the missiles and everything. These will be miracles. There will be miracles in everything. Okay. Maybe we can say that this revelation of these miracles which are revealed, which are separated totally. In other words, everyone will see things that cannot be denied that they're miracles. This is expressed also in the revelation of how God chose the Jewish people. That's what we talked about before. The choice of God to the Jewish people. That God chose the Jewish people. Like we already saw in at the beginning of this year, where there were big miracles. That's the Rebbe is talking about how Russia fell down. That Russia allowed thousands, tens of thousands of Jews to leave and to come to the land of Israel. That there, in the land of Israel, these Jews are able to live in a free way and to do Torah commandments in a free way, to reveal the malatan, the true quality of what a Jew really is, in a way that even the non-Jews can recognize and help the Jews, right? In this case, it was Putin, that he allowed Jews to come out, he even helped them to come out, aided them. That's one time he said that he doesn't want anything to happen. Putin said he doesn't want anything to happen to Israel because tens of thousands of his citizens are living there. They were Russians. I guess they had dual citizenship. Somehow or other. Okay. That the fact that the non-Jews, that they see that the Jewish people are the chosen people, this gets stronger and stronger every generation. And when we are getting closer and closer to the true redemption, when there will be what it says, Holchu goyim l'orecha, it says that the non-Jews will walk to your light. It says that the two prophecies, I think they're both from Isaiah, right? Here's from Isaiah, right? Two prophecies from Isaiah. It says that the non-Jews will go to the light of the Jews, walk to the light of the Jews, and the kings will be like your your helpers in your house. The kings will help you. Umanayach, they'll be the experts that are fixing your car or whatever they have to do. For preparation for this, in the course of the generations, and even the time of exile, we find that the non-Jews recognize that the Jewish people, that they are the chosen people. It says in the Bible. Like it says many, pretty much the only ones who reject this idea that the Jews are the chosen people. That's the way it's been up to now, but I don't know about now, are the Israelis. The Israeli government, they are just abhorred by the very thought that we are the chosen people. And I guess maybe there's some other, but everybody knows it's true. Everybody knows it's true. And we see even now that there's a story in the Gemara that one of the kings helped Jews that they should. He put garments on the Jews. It's a Gemara in Zavachim, where it is that he saw a Jew and he gave him the best clothes that he could. And it says on page 19, he dressed him up in finery. He said, why are you giving me those good clothes? He says, because you're the Jews. You're a Jew, and Jews have to be dressed like kings. Like it's known, the non-Jews, they call the Jewish people, it's known, the Jewish people, we are the chosen people. Huh? Chosen people. Everyone knows the Jews are God's chosen people. It's just that it's like a common word, they say. This adds even more in the last generations, and especially in America, that America is a country of kindness. It says that they allow the Jewish people to do whatever they can, and they even help the Jewish people in the land of Israel. I think this is the time of Reagan or whatever. And in this itself, in addition to the fact that in the last years, and especially the year that passed by, the beginning of this year, is they allowed Jews to go from Russia to the land of Israel, and they even helped them. So we can say that that this path was already, laid down by the great rabbis in the previous generations, and their relationship with the non-Jews, and especially the rabbis of Chabad, beginning with the first Rebbe of Chabad, that he actually became, he interceded in the war between Napoleon and the Tsar to help the Tsar, and that he helped Alexander to defeat Napoleon for the benefit of the Jewish people. We can say that now Russia is now repaying that debt that they owed to the first Rebbe of Chabad by means of helping, that by Russia helping that the Jews should go out from there. May it be God's will that it will add on more and more and continue more and more help from the non-Jews, especially Betam, Rashi. Now, again, I just can't stress this enough. They have the United Nations, like everybody over there is against us. They're all against. They're saying that we're not going to send weapons to Israel, and Israel is an apartheid state, and etc. and etc. And all to various degrees, they're all against us. And they're saying that we're not going to help us, and we're going to help this, we're going to help Iran, we're going to help this. And amazingly, in the land of Israel, everything is just going normal, right? People are not running around afraid and they're scared. Like I say, I just saw a video. It says, we people, the Jews, the religious Jews in Chicago, one person got shot, everyone's afraid. They're all afraid. And here in Israel, they're shooting at us constantly. And people get shot in television. Nobody's afraid. Everybody walks around just normal, right? It's like it's an assumption that in Israel, God protects everybody. And the times that there aren't is a tragedy. Of course, it's a tragedy, and everybody suffers. Everybody mourns together with the mourners. But the fact is that it's just an axiom that in Israel, it's God's country, and He's not going to let anything really serious happen. And I mean, we can safely say that a big percentage, if not all, of the tragedies that happen are because of our government, the uncertainty of our government. But as far as God is protecting us from our government, also from the Israeli government. And He says that's what it means, that God gave the land of Israel to the Jews, and if the non-Jews say it belongs to us, so we say, hey, look at the Bible. The Bible was written by your Creator that's creating you, Mr. Non-Jew. He's creating you, and He's creating you from love. And in that Bible, it says that God is creating you, and that God gave a little portion of the world to the Jews, and it's theirs, and God gave it to them. The God showed the power of His handiwork, that He created the whole world in order to give the Jews their portion. That if the non-Jews say that Israel belongs to them, as you say, you stole it, as the Jews can say, listen, the land of Israel doesn't belong to me and it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to God. The whole world belongs to God. And God can give whoever he wants to whoever he wants to, right? Give whatever. That's what it was really in the United Nations, that the land of Israel, especially Hebron, is relevant to the Jewish people. This is a terrible story. Because like it says in the Torah, and about the Bibi Netanyahu went to the United Nations and he announced, it was Bibi Netanyahu, wasn't it? 30 years, he's been there that long. And he announced that the land of Israel belongs to us and Hebron belongs to us. And he came back to Israel and in the United Nations, they gave him a standing ovation. And he came back to Israel and he just gave him Hebron. He just gave it to them. Anyway, what are you going to do? Okay. So it says, anyway, says the Rebbe, from this, it's obvious. And it is the ultimate, how do you say, rejection that you could possibly make, that it's relevant that the Jews are willing, the land of the Jewish people in the land of Israel, they have to, how do you say, they have to surrender to the pressure of the nations regarding the land of Israel, regarding the other nations. In other words, what does the United Nations say? Jews, you're making trouble. Give in a little bit and we'll like you. You don't give in, you're just aggravating us. You're aggravating us. You have to, don't be so stubborn. Give a little part of your land away and there's going to be peace. And we'll leave you alone and that'll alleviate the whole situation. Right? So he says, here we see how ridiculous it is because the Jews are under the rulership of the non-Jews and they depend on their kindness, right? The Jews in America, and even more, that Hatzalah v'kiyum shalom Yisrael, Beretz Yisrael, Bumas Olam, Talui, and the existence of Jews in the land of Israel, it depends on America, and it depends on the United Nations, and it depends on, says the Rebbe, God forbid, that's insane. The land of Israel is God's. The United Nations is going to decide what God wants. They're going to tell God what to do. First of all, God forbid, Rahman al-Islam, God forbid to say that the Jewish people is in any way endangered. The Jewish people is an eternal nation, and they are the nation of God, and God is eternal. I am God, I will never change. And you, Jewish people, you will never be destroyed. It says clearly, the Jewish people. So despite all of the efforts, it's a sentence in Malachi, despite the efforts of the missionaries and the Muslims and the United Nations and the leftists and the rightists and the Americans, we're not, it's not the same ball game. It's not even the same, ball game whatsoever. It's like somebody, playing a video game and saying because he wins the video game, so he won the World Series. You're playing an imaginary thing. These people are messing with their creator, with God who's creating them. And they don't feel that there's a creator. They don't understand. That's because they're stupid. That's because they're just ignorant. They think that, well, only what I feel is what's real, but it's not so. The Rebbe is trying to tell us that there's a creator, he's an almighty creator. He chose the Jewish people. He gave them the land of Israel, and no one can change that. May it be God's will. Therefore, we should never surrender or cave in to the demands of the Jews or the threats of the non-Jews. Okay, from all this we can understand simply how much it is, how do you say, mushlal? There's a good word for it in English. What's a word for it? Mushlal. I guess it's ridiculous. Of the ultimate absurdity, this announcement that has been made later that the Jewish people in the land of Israel, that they, oh no, we just did that, right? We just did it. Okay, so therefore, that the non-Jews simply are not controllers in any way on the Jewish people and not on the land of Israel. And because that this is the beginning and of the whole entire Torah, whether the written Torah or the oral Torah in the Talmud, that this includes everything which every Talmud scholar is going to learn, is the Torah which was given to the Jewish people in all the courses, all the generations. So it's understood that Bereshit, when it says Bereshit, it's the sake of the Torah. It's called Reshit, and because of the Jewish people, and they're called Reshit. And this is the whole entire foundation of the Torah, and really of all reality, that the Jewish people are the representatives of God with the Torah in the land of Israel. And this, whether you deny it or not, does not change the reality. Oh, and even the non-Jews, they recognize the fact that the Jewish people, they are the chosen nation. And in the course of generations, this was an obvious thing. Even even in those generations where there was concealments, hiding, when there was a Holocaust and everything, nevertheless, lo haya ne'amad rav sheyesh lo smicha umachriz davar kazeh. There was never any rabbi that could stand up and say, we're not the chosen people. No rabbi has the right to do such a thing. And that we should give in to the non-Jews in order to make peace. How can you give away the land of Israel for any reason? Some people say don't do it because it makes the non-Jews mad. Al tizgaru almost. And all of the generosity that we receive from the non-Jews, says the Rebbe, it's got no connection to the Torah and the commandments, because it's understood that the commandment not to instigate the non-Jews to get angry at us. Don't anger them. Is not relevant to the fact that God chose the Jewish people and he gave us the land of Israel. And God, you chose us. We'll come do like we said before. And the main thing is, it's understood simply. When we're talking about doing the Torah and the commandments, it's not relevant to say on this, don't make the non-Jews angry. If you put on tefillin, it's going to make them angry. There was in America for a long time, the Chabad decided they want to make Chanukah menorahs outside. Big Chanukah menorahs, big. So the Reform and the conservative Jews in America, they went into panic mode. And they took them to court and they said, listen, enough we've suffered because of advertising Judaism. That's the reason for the Holocaust, right? And we just have to keep a low profile. We have to get along with everybody. And, not to now the fact is there is no real commandment to light the candles of Hanukkah outside, but there is a commandment on Hanukkah to advertise the commandment. It's an to advertise. And so part of being advertising means that you have to advertise, which means you don't make up, don't be paranoid to make up imaginary dangers. So the question, what's an imaginary danger and what's a real danger? So the Rebbe said anything dealing with Torah and commandments is not an imaginary danger. Anything with dealing with Torah and the commandments is not imaginary. And maybe there might be extreme circumstances where it is where you have to check it very carefully, right? You want to put on tefillin, don't go in the middle of a Nazi rally and put tefillin on the okay, maybe this, maybe not. Also, maybe not. Who knows? Maybe not. But when it comes to God, when it comes to Torah, when it comes to mitzvahs and the commandments, God, Torah, commandments, what God tells the Jews is more real than anything in the world, for the simple reason that God is creating the world. Therefore, how much more so now, the land of Israel. So they say, listen, if you don't give the land of Israel away, then we're going to kill you. So there's big rabbis that stand up and they say, well, it's a danger for the Jews. We got to give the land of Israel for peace. We got to give it away. He says, talking about giving back land. Says the Rebbe, exactly the opposite. There's a law in the Shulchan Aruch, Orach Chaim, the laws of Shabbat, that says that if non-Jews lay siege to a city, then if they come and they say, we're going to kill everybody in the city, if you don't give us money or something like that, give us something, that even if they haven't come yet, you just heard about that they're coming, you have to take weapons and go out and even defile the Shabbat. And if you give into them, that's the biggest danger. That's the biggest danger, giving into them. You're worried about the non-Jews killing you if you don't give them land. Now, in an individual case, if you're in the street and someone says your money or your life, so you give me your money. You give me your money. But if it's a matter, in this case, of the land of Israel, it says clearly, the land of Israel, then you're not allowed to give into the non-Jews because it's dangerous. If they say, we're going to kill you all if you don't give us a little part of land, then don't give them the land. If you give them the land, then for sure they're going to attack. And if you stand firm, then there's a chance that they won't, but at least you'll be protected if they do. But the worst decision you can make is to give in to the pressure of the non-Jews. The most dangerous that you can make is to give in to the non-Jews' demands. It says, therefore, a city that's right next to the boundaries, that even if the non-Jews come and they say, listen, we're not interested in the land of Israel, just give us a box of straw. See this armor we've got nuclear weapons, we have everything, we'll destroy you all. Give us a box of straw, one box of straw, that's all, a gesture. We'll make it on television. You give us a box of straw and we'll leave you alone. Don't give it to them. Don't give it to them. It's the most dangerous thing you can do. You cannot give in to them. If you do, it's dangerous. They'll attack you. It's a sign that you're weak. It's a sign that you're afraid. That's exactly what they're waiting for. It's a law in the Shulchan Aruch. And it's a psychological reality that says even if they come just for straw or hay, then it says you should defile the Shabbat and go out and show them that you're ready to fight back. Don't give in to them at all. May it be God's will that God listens to everything that we've said over here. May it be God's will and that everything will come back. And even King David said, Shagius mi'avin, okay, we made a mistake, right? Big rabbis over here in Israel. I remember Rabbi Vadia Yosef, and I said, we got to give land, got to give it away. It's for peace, right? And then he changed his mind. Then he changed his mind again. He changed his mind back again. All these rabbis are saying is the opposite of the truth. And in any case, it's not going to help. It's only, if you give in to them, it's only going to encourage them to make more trouble for us. And God is going to have to do more miracles. The truth is going to come from the land of Israel, says the Rebbe. And even more, that in general, we should never have to talk anymore about any negative things. From now on, we should speak only of positive things and praising Jews and good things about the Jews. The Jews are brave. The Jews are courageous. The Jews are holding on to the Torah. They're not afraid of the non-Jews. And especially if they add on learning Torah and doing the commandments, and especially learning Chitat, Chumash, Tanya, Tehillim, every day to say a portion of the 5 books of Moses, of the portion of that week, and the Tanya. Tanya is also divided into, I guess, 365 portions. You can learn every day one. And Tehillim, the Psalms are also divided up into 30 portions. So every day of the month you can say one. That's Chumash, Tehillim, and Tanya, etc., etc., etc. Like that, learn those 3 things. Chitat, very important, very important. You want to be connected to the Rebbe, learn Chitat. Learn Chitat. עוד 10 דקות תצלצל, 10 דקות, אני באמצע שיעור, בבקשה, 10 דקות. And the main thing is that should be Bahakarat, call all of the whole entire world. The main thing is the whole entire world, including all of the population of the world, all humanity, in the uniqueness and the greatness of the Jewish people. That the whole world was created for the Jews to fix up. And also the land of Israel is relevant only to the Jewish people. Until Shleimus Agili Bezer will be totally revealed. In the Geula Mitit V'Shleima, in the redemption, the total revelation of godliness in the world, when Nosaf, in addition to the 7 nations which God has given to us since Joshua, the Moshiach is going to come. We'll get 3 more nations. The size of Israel will become 3 times as much, but they'll give it to us willfully. The Keni and the Kenizia Kadmoni. It says it's, what is it? Edom and Moab and, I always forget this one. Moab. And anyway, Edom, Moab, the 3 nations will get 3 more nations. Big parts of Persia will be ours. And what was it? Edom, Moab, and I forgot. Okay. Immediately, Mamish, on Shabbos Bereshit, on this Shabbat, when about last Shabbat, when they blessed the month, the great miracles of God, until the big miracle will be like it says in the prophet Micha, like the days of going out of Egypt, I will show you even bigger miracles. The Geula Mitit Vashlema, and the true redemption of the Jews by means of Moshe. That's the essence of the Jewish people. First of the 10 commandments. I am God that took you out of Egypt. God put us in Egypt, and God will take us out of Egypt, just like he took us out of Egypt with Moses. He'll take us out of this terrible gullus by means of Moshiach. And that's this week's Torah portion. Noach. Elah told us, Noach ish tzaddik. These are the generations of Noah 2 times. Naichet, it'll be pleasing to the upper worlds and pleasing to the physical world. And afterwards, it say Lech Lecha, and afterwards the story of Abraham, how Abraham left his house, his place, his birthplace, and he went to the land, the new land, a new world, that all the Jewish people, even those that are found right now outside of Israel, including the founders of the Hasidic movement of Chabad, Admor Zaki and Admor Emsoy, they're all buried in Ukraine, wherever, and at Tzemach Tzedek, and they're buried in, White Russia, that they're found now in Artzecha, Malatecha, Beit Avicha, and in Hadich and Niezhin. Hadich is where the Alter Rebbe has been. Niezhin is where the second Rebbe of Chabad is buried. In Lubavitcher, that's where the Tzemach Tzedek and his son is buried. But call the Rebbe saying, all of our rabbis, all the generations, they'll all walk to the land of Israel, to Jerusalem, the holy city, to the holy mountain, or to the holy house, Beit HaMikdash, the third Beit HaMikdash, the Kodesh Kodeshim, to the Holy of Holies, immediately, right now, mamish.